Embarrassed palace officials claim Prince Harry no idea footage of his final engagement as a senior royal would be accompanied by Stone Roses hit with the line "I'd like to leave the country for a month of Sundays." Prince Harry had no input in the choice of song that was used on the Sussex royal Instagram account today, furious Buckingham Palace officials have claimed this evening. The prince was filmed taking part in what could potentially be his last job as a senior royal before he moves to Canada with his wife Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. The event, which saw the prince chatting to youngsters in the Queen's garden, was marked with an official Instagram video set to Stone Roses' hit "This Is the One", which famously features the lyrics, "I'd like to leave the country." The prince raced through today's launch of the 2021 Rugby League World Cup, dodging any questions about his future at a highly orchestrated Buckingham Palace event, his first since he and Meghan quit last Wednesday. Palace sources have now said that the particular song had been the sole choice of the event organizers, however it is not yet clear whether or not the song will be the theme for the 2021 event. Sources close to the Duke said that the royal team had no involvement in the choice of music, which had been suggested by the rugby league side of today's event because it was an anthem of the sport. Harry and Meghan's Instagram account, one of the key parts of their brand going forward, marked the occasion by releasing an Instagram story showing the grinning prince larking around behind the scenes. And in what could be interpreted as nod to his imminent exit to North America, the soundtrack was the Stone Roses indie hit "This Is the One", which contains the lyrics, "I'd like to leave the country for a month of Sundays." These words are not heard in the video, but it seems inconceivable the royal couple's advisors were unaware of the lyrics when the well-known song was chosen. The behind-the-scenes footage shows Harry making the crowd chortle as he helped with the draw and cracking jokes with guests, including Australian comedian Adam Hills, who he praised for his beautiful beard, after watching schoolchildren play tag rugby on his 93-year-old grandmother's lawn. The Duke of Sussex had tried to betray a little sign of the abdication turmoil that has engulfed him and caused major tensions with the Queen, his father Prince Charles and brother Prince William, dodging all questions on the crisis and even laughing when journalists asked, "How are the discussions going on your future?" Harry had looked serious and was glued to his phone as he was swept into the palace in his Jaguar at around 11 a.m., hours after he released a video urging men to avoid grinning and bearing it. The Duke also appeared stern as he arrived in the palace garden, playing nervously with his wedding ring, but his face finally lit up as he watched children play tag rugby on the Queen's lawn and giggled as he was told, "We started without you." He joked back, "Look after the grass though, yeah? Otherwise I'll get in trouble." Then he appeared to laugh out loud when the assembled royal media, which he and Meghan despise, asked how talks about his future were going. He ignored the question, striding back into the palace without saying a word, a poignant end to what could be his swan song as a frontline royal before moving to North America. And the sports-mad prince later played to the crowd during the tournament's draw, making them laugh out loud as he turned his back while swirling the balls as he picked his beloved England's opponents, to prove he wasn't cheating. But organizers helped him avoid an awkward photo opportunity by ensuring he was unable to draw Canada in the women's event, the country he plans to move to and where Meghan and Archie are already living for the foreseeable future. Stood next to his rugby hero Jason Robinson and former Olympic rower Dame Catherine Granger, now head of UK Sport, Harry did give a short speech, but didn't mention his current woes, talking instead about the importance of sport and how good it is for mental health. He said, "First of all, it's an honor to be standing next to two sporting legends. From my perspective, from the experience I have had through my younger years, but also through Invictus and all the sporting events I am lucky enough to go to or watch, the input it has on young people and the community as a whole is remarkable. Not only do I continue to see sport changing lives, but it's saving lives as well. Whether it's rugby league or sport in general, everyone, given the opportunity, it needs to be in everyone's life." Harry has kept a low profile and has locked down in Frogmore Cottage, Windsor, since he went nuclear 8 years ago and told the Queen he wants to step away from duties. He plans to emigrate with his wife and child to Canada, who are currently 5,000 miles away in Vancouver. And depending on whether a makes a deal on money, titles, duties and the Sussex brand can be struck with his grandmother, today's sport event is certainly his last date in the royal diary for the foreseeable future. Today he urged men suffering from mental health problems to avoid grinning and bearing it ahead of his first major royal engagement since the bombshell last Wednesday. The rugby league event was set up before Harry went nuclear. Harry was at Buckingham Palace, the official residence of his grandmother the Queen, who has now sanctioned his decision, where he was hosting the Rugby League World Cup 2021 draw. Dozens of photographers lined a mini makeshift rugby pitch on the manicured lawns in the palace garden, waiting for the Duke to arrive. Harry, dressed in a smart suit and tie, smiled and joked when he was welcomed by the RLW 2021's Chief Executive Officer John Dutton and its non-executive director Stuart Kane in the palace gardens. Children from a local school gave a rugby demonstration as Harry chatted enthusiastically to the executives. Harry then joked with the youngsters, telling them to look after the palace grass or he would get in trouble. Posing for a team picture, he teased them, saying, "Some of you are really warm, some of you haven't been running around." As he headed inside, he quipped, "Look after the grass though, yeah? Otherwise I'll get in trouble." The global tournament being staged by the UK is the pinnacle event for rugby league and will take place during October and November in 17 cities across England. Harry was also introduced to two ambassadors for the global tournament, James Simpson, England and Leeds Rhinos wheelchair rugby league star, and Jodie Cunningham, a rugby league player in the Women's Super League for St Helens. In front of the group were 12 children from St Vincent de Paul Catholic Primary School in Westminster, playing on a mini rugby pitch. The youngsters are Westminster champions in tag rugby, a non-contact form of the game, for the last 3 years. Mr. Simpson made Harry laugh when he said, "We started without you." One of the reporters shouted out a question to the Duke, who has had a turbulent week trying to resolve questions about his future role in the monarchy. The reporter asked, "How are the discussions going on your future?" Harry, who was making his way into the palace, only smiled at one of his entourage and did not reply.